I recently uploaded a video to show where you can play chords on the guitar in different positions, and some people were asking me, how do you actually know which notes are in a chord? So this video is a quick explanation of how to do that. So we're going to start with a C major scale. Ignore this bit at the top for now. So we're going to start with the notes of a C major scale, which are C, D, E, F, G, A and B. We're starting with C major because there were no sharps or flats, so it makes things a bit more simple. Each of those notes has a corresponding number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so to find a chord, a triad, which is 3 notes, you want the 1, the 3 and the 5. Okay, so the 1 is the C, the 3 is the E and the 5 is the G. So those 3 notes give you a C major chord. Okay, so it's 1, 3 and 5. So if you want to find another chord in that key, let's say we want to find a D, so D now becomes number 1. Okay, so 1, 3 and 5, because we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the number, the root note always becomes the 1. Okay, so we're going to have in there a D, an F and an A. Now that is going to be a D minor chord. So why is this one major and this one minor? Okay, I will explain. So in a C major we've got these notes. Because we're going up to D to find this chord, we compare whatever notes are in this chord to a D major scale. So in a D major scale we have those notes. So D, E, we've got an F sharp in this key, G, A, B and a C sharp in this key. So if we were to take the 1, the 3 and the 5, in a D major scale, we would have D, F sharp and A. So here we've got an F sharp, here we've got an F natural. So what we need to do is flatten this note in this key to become an F. So when you flatten the third, it changes from a major scale to a minor scale. Sorry, from a major chord to a minor chord. So that would be a D major chord. And that would be a D minor chord. So that is why the chords have got a different name, even though you're using 1, 3 and 5 from the same scale. So another example, in E, you'd have E, G sharp and B, because in E you've got a G sharp, whereas in here we'd have E, G and B. So again you're flattening the third, so you'd have the 1, flat 3 and 5. When you get up to B here, we're going to have a slightly different variation. So in a major scale, B major, B, okay, so here, let's just circle this so we know that we're just talking about this one. So in a B major scale we have a lot more sharps. Okay, so if we were going to pick the 1, 3 and 5 from here, we'd have B, D sharp and F sharp. So we've got to flatten, because we're in the key of C, we're going to go from B, D and F. Okay, so that would be So here we would change that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, the 3 and the 5 here would be 1, 3, 5. So B, D and F. So as you can see here, we've got B, D sharp, F sharp. So we have to flatten both of those notes. So if you flatten both, you get a diminished. So that would be a B diminished triad. The same thing applies with sevenths. So if we had a C and we stuck in the key of C, we stuck a B in there. Remember on here we're going with these numbers. So C, if we stuck a 7 in, we have C, E, G and B, which would give you a major 7 chord. Again, if we went with a D, you'd have D, F, A and C, which would give you a D minor 7, because it's a flat 7 in the key of D. Because in the key of D, you'd have D, F sharp, A and C sharp. That would be your D major 7 chord. But because we've got rid of the sharps, we've got D minor and a flat 7, which will give you a D minor 7 chord. I hope that makes sense. It might seem a little bit complicated, but the best way to do it, if you want to know what chord you're using in a scale, write out the notes, go from 1, 3, 5, if you need to stick a 7 and do that, and then if you can find the key signatures for every scale online. So if you wanted to know what a D major or a F major key signature was, you could do that and then find out what notes are in the key and what notes you're flattening. And I'll give you an example. In F we have an F, which would be the 1, an A, which would be the 3, and a C, which would be the 5. That's still a major chord, because in the key of F major you only have one accidental, which is a B flat, and that's not in the chord, so that would still be 1, 3, 5 in the key of F as well as in the key of C, and you do get these. Same thing with G. So have a little play around, see if you can figure it out. I know we've got a lot of numbers and arrows and all sorts of stuff on there, but hopefully that makes sense.